set up with no issues. Hello, IG is in the building. Okay. Now we're good. So now we have Instagram and we've got TikTok, and I've got my computer here with some Zoom people. Okay, so there I'm going to be looking in all three directions, and we're going to cover the 5 days, the 5-day plan on how to address making sure you set up your digital presence the way that it should be set up so that it can represent your goals and what you're trying to accomplish online, okay? And so the first thing that we're going to talk about here is exactly how you doing, McDina. If you don't mind, like the live, share it, leave a comment, engage. If you have questions, do not feel shy about asking. A little bit about me. I help people learn about digital literacy, and I'm talking about people who just are normal everyday scrollers, but they don't stop and decide to engage online very much. My target audience is people who want to learn how to engage, how to be a part of it. Hello, Andy. Welcome in. Please like the live, share. Stay with us for a while so you can learn. If you already are a digital creator, then this may be boring to you. But if you are somebody who are looking to get in where you fit in and learn how to scale up beyond just a regular account, then let me know. I also have Instagram over here, and I also have a Zoom on one side, okay? So I'm showing them how we engage on multiple platforms. Sometimes you can go ahead and have multiple devices like I am choosing to do, or you can choose to use a platform that support multiple sites, which is very doable. But I prefer it this way because I use Zoom. I don't normally have all of them, but today I am because we are going to go over the 5-day plan. Okay? And one of the things is, why does digital literacy matter? Okay? So when you are online and you are engaging, how are you doing, A-Lucky? Thanks for coming in. When you are online and you set up to do something, whether that is sell food, or if that is maybe selling clothing, or even if it's not selling something, maybe you just want to teach people. One of the main things is that you need to make sure that you are set up so that people can identify what it is that you do when they approach your page. Okay? There's a couple of good creators that are here on Instagram, some that are on TikTok, that actually have very good platforms. And as soon as you run up on their page, you can automatically tell what it is that they do, right? Maybe they have posted jewelry because they're a jewelry seller. Or maybe there's somebody who has a TikTok shop and they constantly engage in selling from their TikTok shop. So these are things that you want to be able to set up on your own. If you are just a scroller, you've never done it, but you admire people who do these type of things, then this is what is for you today, so that you can learn about that. All right? And nobody should feel ashamed for not knowing how to position your platform. Okay? Never feel ashamed about that, because everybody started somewhere. You don't just automatically gain this knowledge overnight. You have to be familiar with how computers operate. You got to be familiar with algorithms and all of those things in order to just jump in there and take off. But if you're not familiar with those type of digital literacy and stuff like that, then that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go about day one. If y'all have been following me this week, you know that on day one, we did our own digital space, right? We talked about how to own that digital space. We talked about owning a website. We also talked about social media. This social media is not owning. Having Instagram, having Facebook, having TikTok, having Zoom, and all those different things like that, those are basically like digital apartments, okay? Digital apartments where people rent. You're there, you're using your presence, or even like, we want to say a commercial storefront, right? You're renting this from this commercial building, and you have the opportunity to get followers, email lists, all of those different things like that through renting this space. Engagement, basically. Now, if you want to move beyond that, if these things were to disappear tomorrow and they are no longer available. Now you don't have a social media in order for you to engage it. Most likely something like that happening, very, very slim chance. But we always want to be prepared, right? Because we had a moment, I remember in the early 2000, I think it was like 2010, and Google went out for a day and people couldn't do anything, and it totally disrupted the way people worked and everything, and it was down for a whole day. People couldn't get into their emails, and it was just a horrible moment. Well, if we ever have a moment like that on social media, you need to have somewhere where you can engage with your clientele and let them know what's going on. And one of those ways that you'll engage with your clientele is you will actually let them know through an email list or through your own personal website. And we want to be able to set up our digital space so that we have that type of access to people beyond just regular social media. Okay? And we're going to talk about, let's see here, day 2. Day 2 was basically the day where we talked about digital literacy and it costing you opportunities. Okay? I know that some people don't know it and some don't believe it. But the truth is, if you're not set up right online, it could be costing you money. It could be costing you the ability in order for you to get the proper job. If you don't have your emails that are named properly, believe it or not, there's somebody looking at the name on your email. If your name is Tony Kemp, and you decide to use Big Daddy Love as your handle on your email, and you apply for a job that you absolutely love, and they said, we can't take him serious because we don't really want to, Big Daddy Love, who even is that? They may not even look at your resume because your email is not properly set up. Okay? So these are things that we have to be mindful of, okay, with our digital presence. Missed opportunity, account confusion. That's right, account confusion. That's right. If you are one of those people who like to get into things that are super popular in the digital world, and you know that they're utilizing digital literacy, that what you put out there sometimes it's things that are trending and you see everybody doing it and you're like, oh, I'm going to jump on that. Sometimes that trending thing can actually cost you. It can cost you your time. It can cost you money. You can get confused with other accounts or other people who are utilizing that type of thing. So try not to choose permanent things such as emails and website names and stuff like that off of trendy topics unless you plan on keeping up with that trend the whole duration. Okay? Now what we're going to talk about too is making sure that you understand that security is super important online. Nowadays you cannot, under any circumstance, yes, and I know some of you who are used to working with me, you cannot afford to be hacked. You need to have two-factor authentication at all times. Hi, welcome in. And so when you have two-factor authentication set up, or an authenticator app where all of your logins are in that app, so anytime you log in, you have to verify through that app that was you that logged in. I don't know about you, but I've had my Facebooks hacked and different things and had to start all over from scratch. It is not fun. It is not a good thing. It is not a good feeling. So being mindful of that in the beginning as you start your journey on these digital platforms is to make sure that you're set up properly so that you don't have any issues with password and password protection in the future. Okay? All right. So that is our recap on day 2. All right. We're going to flow into day 3. And day 3 is don't skip the foundation. Okay? Sometimes we skip the foundation. How you doing, Reed? Welcome in. Like the live, share the live, do all of the good things that keep us connected. Okay? I have Zoom over here. I have Instagram here, and now I'm inviting TikTok into my world. I typically don't engage unless they're paid customers. However, this is an actual free 5-day plan that people are able to learn about setting up your digital foundation so that you have good digital literacy moving forward. Okay, we're recapping on day 4. Day 4 is where we actually talked about having your AI, the difference between digital assets when it comes to AI, cryptocurrency, online income, those type of things, and how to know how your digital presence is affecting your ability to scale on those other things, okay? Especially when it comes to online income. If you're not properly organized, if you didn't set your foundation up right, good password protection and all that stuff, you are online selling things and you are risking being hacked. So you want to make sure that you have good authentications. I'm just giving you a slight recap because that's super important. Now, when it comes to your digital foundation, that means you need to plan your emails accordingly. That's correct. You need to plan your passwords accordingly. Your systems, what systems that you need set up to earn the type of money you're trying to earn. So, payment, Stripe, PayPal. What are you trying to use? Are you selling digital products? What is your goal, your overall goal here? Okay. And this is something that you need to be mindful of whenever you're actually starting off. Let me see if anybody is making any comments because I don't want to be missing. Okay, no, I think we're good on that. Now, the other thing that we talk about is making sure that what you're utilizing has sufficient storage for you, okay? If you have sufficient storage in order for you to run whatever programs you plan on running, that means that if you have email and you're going to be running a business online and you need customer email communications, confirmation pages, different things like that, then it's super important that you have email accounts that have enough of that information, digital space, in order to keep you where you can save your emails, save your communications, and different things like that. Welcome in, Kim. Nice to have you. I have Zoom over here, I have Instagram here, and I have TikTok here, so you'll see me looking all over the room, but I am gauging on the last 5 days that I was going over on TikTok with you guys. All right, so we just recapped day 3. And I only plan on being here for 30 minutes. So if you see that I am moving at a too fast pace and you have a question, make sure you put the question here so that I can, okay. So make sure that you put the questions in the chat so that I can answer them, okay? As we go. It doesn't bother me. Most of the people that I'm working with on Zoom, they're used to me. So they know where to put their questions, and they know I'll typically answer them at the end. So right now, I just added TikTok and Instagram for the first time today, and I'm so glad to have you guys with us. All right, so we just recapped not skipping the foundation. Now we're going to talk about day 4. Internet is connection. Why you choose to be online is super important. We have to keep in mind the reason why we chose to be here. Are we here just to scroll? If you're here just to scroll, then all of this is probably irrelevant to you. But if you want to show up beyond scrolling, you want to build community, you want to scale a business, you want to find your online identity, then it is super important that you are mindful that the internet is a place for connection. In so many ways, we literally meet online a lot quicker than we do in person now. I know people get a chance to engage online before we engage in the actual physical, okay? If you have any questions, welcome in, Cheryl. Please like the live, share. Do all of the good things that we do so that we can keep the community going and we can share out the live. Now, finding your tribe. That is something that is a benefit, okay, of the internet's connection. The ability to connect with people and train your algorithm. And I know a lot of you may not know, but you can train your algorithm. Welcome in, her. I'm talking about our 5-day plan to creating a good online presence. We are recapping day 4. And we're talking about the internet and your connection, okay? So finding your tribe, the ability to network properly, okay? The ability to build community, and the visibility and the opportunity that you get through connection. The great thing about the internet, and you're starting to see it a lot more, is that there are people who are coming on here and they're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and they're focusing on one or two things. And they're saying, hey, I'm going to participate in this for the next 3 days. I'm going to participate in this for the next 30 days, or until I reach the community that I want. And that's what we have to do. Now with AI, when you're online, trigger words are super important, okay? These words that we utilize, I know you see them. Even on TikTok is a prime, welcome in Lady D, is a prime example, okay? When you utilize TikTok, as I talk and I say digital literacy, I say online setup, I say these things, these are key words that AI now pick up on. And they send it out to people who may have been searching or looking for this form of engagement, okay? So those are super important when it comes to the internet and your connection. You can change your life by who you meet, in a good way or a bad way. In this digital world that is going to become increasingly larger. How are you doing? Share the live, like the live, and make sure that you're doing all of the good things for engaging in community. I have Zoom here, I have Instagram here, and I have TikTok here, okay? So just so you guys know that I have 3 different cameras I'm looking at, and I appreciate you sitting in. If you have a question, please put it in the chat. I will get to your question as soon as I can. Now, the other one is opportunity through connection. That's right, opportunity through connection. You may meet someone online who has a skill that you may need. They may have been showing that they're good at this, whether it's marketing something or teaching you how to build a website, teaching you how to create digital contact cards for business. You know, any little thing that this person, or huge thing that this person is doing, baking cakes, building woodwork, whatever. Those are opportunities for you to engage with these people to get something that you may personally need. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. So always keep in mind, we're not just here to scroll. We're here to build community, and we're here to engage with each other. That's right. So actions that you may need to do. Hi, welcome, Loretta. It's nice to see you. Make sure you like the live, share the live, do all the engaging things. So one of the things that you need to do is you need to be mindful of your profile photos. Update your profile photos. Update your bios. Make your page consistent. If you are trying to grow your page and growth is important to you, then you need to be mindful of how you are showing up. It is just like showing up on a job, okay? How you show up, your digital presence is your first impression these days. It is basically how we were taught in school, or especially in the Black community, how important it actually is for us to dress up, look nice, present ourselves in the best way possible. It is the same thing online. You do that by updating your profile photos, updating your bios, and making changes to your pages consistently. This is how we identify ourselves in a digital world, okay? As the internet continues to grow, one of the things that we're going to start to see is that, you know how you're getting those overnight sensations? They're going to become more popular. People are going to be able to scale 1 million views a lot more frequently. And this is a good time to set yourself into position so that you can get, ahead, because AI is allowing people that opportunity. So one of the next things that I'm going to go into, possibly this coming up week, is how to use and set up AI so that you can get your voice out there. And you can post the things that you have in your heart that you've been looking to do and engage so you can earn the income you want to earn online. That is super important. All right. So we just recapped day 4, and now we're going to talk about day 5. And we touched on day 5 just a little bit, guys. And I know those of you who are in my Zoom, you are familiar with a lot of this, but today's class is free to anybody, and we're not worried about that. You're welcome to ask questions, and I will answer them. But we're going to talk about day 5. Your digital presence is your first impression. So one of the things that a lot of people aren't aware of is that the fact that your employers, businesses, and networking groups have access to your social medias, okay? A lot of you think, oh, I'm private. Even if you're private, sometimes you'll accept people and they may very well be an employer of yours, or they may be somebody who's working with you on a networking team or something like that. These things, how you sign up, how you show up, whether you have a clean profile, consistent branding, professional emails and names, you need to be consistent in how you show up. That's right. So we have to, if you've always had that Sweetie Pie 26 email, cut it out. Cut it out. We are at a point where that is not, you can still use it for what you've been using it for, your newsletters, your bills, and all those things like that. They can't tell you nothing on that. But if you are looking to scale online and you want to create digital presence, you want to make money online, you want to build followers, you want to create a community, then you need to think about the name of your community, how you want to show up, and you want to structure those things. That is what I love to help people do. That is what I focus on. That is how I help many people get their identity set up online so that they can move forward and earn the money that they want to earn in the capacity that they want to do it. Whether it's digital products, whether it's using Facebook Marketplace or using TikTok Market, whether it's, selling your own t-shirts, your own store, all of that. We can work on that. I do one-on-one consultations. You can always find me at the link in my bio, and I can help you set up those things. So after we just recapped why it's important, how you show up online, your first impressions and things like that, you don't need to become perfect online, okay? That is what I'm going to tell you. You do not need to become perfect online. But what you need to do is just be intentional. Okay? Being intentional is very important. Oh, mercy. Welcome in. Share the live. Like the live. Let me see here. Sorry. I saw something over here. I saw a comment over here. I was like, y'all are so funny. All right. Let me see here. So a lot of people ask me to break this down step by step. So I created a simpler, beginner-friendly way for you guys to guide yourself personally, okay? So if you are interested in guiding yourself step by step, I have a 5-day plan. It is available at the link in my bio. It is less than $20. If you are interested in it and you want step-by-step instructions on how to set this up, from email security all the way to the names, your profile pictures, and different things like that, and you need ideals, you want help doing that, that guide will take you from the beginning all the way to the end on your own time, okay? You don't have to worry about, I don't know if I can fit it in now. If you could only do step 1 this week, step 2 next week, you can get it done in 5 weeks. If you don't have 5 days to focus on it, you can get it done in 5 weeks. But it is a 5-day plan that if you are serious about creating content online and you want to set up your base for your digital identity, then you need to have that 5-day plan so that you can get started. Okay? I told you guys I was going to be here for 30 minutes today. I am now opening up the floor to questions. If y'all have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Hi, Joyce. Welcome in. Share the live, like the live, do all of the good things that we do on TikTok. TikTok is new to me while I'm teaching a class like this on Zoom, and Instagram is new too, because I decided to myself, I said, well, I think that people online should really have an opportunity to engage and learn about setting up your online presence. I'm here to help people who scroll all the time, but you want to engage, maybe even have your own platform, but you don't know where to start. You're a little nervous about that. You're like, I don't really know how to engage online. I don't know how to be consistent. I don't know what to post. I don't know where, I don't even really understand how to post. So I'm here to help walk you through those things. Follow me here and I will be available. You can DM me questions. We can talk about things if you're wanting to know, well, how do I get on TikTok Market? Or how do I design my own content? How do I know whether or not I will be able to leverage it or even be paid for doing so? If you have those type of questions, inbox, write those questions down and let me know. Yes. Okay, someone asked, is there a perfect way to set up your online presence? Yes, there's a perfect way to do it, and that's how you want to do it. That's right, how you want to do it. But consistency and intentional. What I mean when I say consistency and intentional, I mean you need to be intentional about, if you bake cakes, do not say something about Starry Nights in your profile. You need to stick with something about cakes, Happy Cakes, or whatever your business name is. Those things are super, super important when it comes to digital presence. Yes, someone asked, whenever you set up your emails, yes, whenever you set up your emails, earlier I did mention that if you set up an email online, that one of the things that you need to do is that you need to make sure you have enough storage for the capacity of things you're trying to do, okay? So if you are planning on selling things online and you're going to hook up Stripe or PayPal or something like that, and now you need to be mindful when you set up that email, what company you're setting that email up with, because after so much gigabytes, some companies charge. One of the things I found to be really good, because if you're going to have a business online, you need to have a domain, okay? Because there's going to come a point where you're going to scale up, all right? And once you scale up, you need to be able to support the type of business that you are running, okay? Welcome in, Tawana. Like the live, share the live. Now, if you have any questions, any more questions, because I don't see any other ones on Zoom. You have any questions, TikTok? Okay, well, I want to say this week was about awareness, okay? This week was about awareness. It was about the next steps and implement it in, I'm trying to say the word. Forget it. It's about the next step and putting it into action. Okay? You don't have to learn everything overnight. You just need to start building from your foundation. Okay? You don't need to, oh, I got it. All of a sudden. That may not be the case. Okay? But what you do need to do is you need to start somewhere. Okay? You need to start planning. You need to be present. Okay? Now, I know I say okay a lot. And I'm going to try to download this video and remove those fillers and try to get that out to you guys so that y'all can have it. But I want to tell you, thank you so much for joining me here today for this 30 minutes. I told y'all I would be here from 3 o'clock to between 3 and 4 p.m. on TikTok, Instagram, and Zoom. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out. It has been a pleasure serving you, and I hope to talk with you guys soon. Bye. I'm going to hang out on TikTok for a while. Yeah, so if y'all on Zoom and y'all want to come over to TikTok, feel free. If you're on Instagram, you want to come over to TikTok, feel free. All right? And I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining. All right. How are you, TikTok? Hey. How you doing, Miko? Welcome. Hey, Q. Thank you so much for liking the live and sharing it. I appreciate you coming in. Y'all sure y'all don't got no questions? Let me make sure I ain't been missing no questions. No, y'all ain't been asking no questions. I would have saw them. I thought so. All right, Instagram. It has been amazing, and I will catch you next time.